You know, when you get to a point to where you're really serious about your content, really serious about your media, you got to create a station, almost like a kitchen, for you to really cook up the best edits that you know you can do. And I've created this studio back in 2020. And over the 5 years, I've added more upgrades till I think I've done a pretty good job creating the perfect minimal budget desk setup. So in this video, I'm gonna show you everything that's with my desk setup, starting with the desk itself. This is the QB L-shaped desk. I actually got this off Amazon for only about $60. Really good desk. I think I've had it for about 4 years. The frame is steel. It also has the X's to the back of it just for extra cord management. I really love L-shaped desks because I just feel like I have just more real estate. I can just sit on my monitor, or I can turn and fiddle with my other computer or just other things in general. So I really love that. It also comes with the storage bag that I've made into a drawer. You can also mount it on the side of the table. It also comes with a monitor shelf. I don't really use this as a monitor shelf. I just think it's a little bit too tall, so I don't use it as a monitor shelf. I actually just use it as just kind of decoration. I love the gloss black look. It just looks really, really sleek. Light bounces off of it nicely. So the chair I've been using is the FlexiSpot OC1. Shout out to them. They actually sent me this chair. I've been using it for like a month or two now, and one thing I gotta say, like, definitely a big difference from the other chair that I used to use, which is a more like gaming chair. I definitely feel like this chair kind of keeps me awake, keeps me a little bit more focused. It has this nice mesh on the backrest that's pretty comfortable, definitely breathable. One thing I really like is that it has adjustable armrests, so I can turn them. I can also make them go up and down. It has a nice cushion, and that's key, especially since I'm sitting at my desk for like probably at least 5 hours a day. And of course, it has your tilt, and you can actually change the sensitivity of the tilt. Probably my favorite feature about it is that it has a adjustable rotating headrest. So I really do like that feature a lot, because I'm one of my biggest pet peeves on chairs. It's like it usually has this main pillow that I just can't move. But I like this one because it's easily adjustable. But another cool thing about this chair is that I can actually adjust my lower back support. So if I want it in more to be more sitting up straight, or if I want it out more to kind of be more relaxed, I can do that as well. So really good chair, highly recommend it. Link is in the description. Thanks so much again to FlexiSpot. As a videographer, photographer, and editor, it's really important to have a solid monitor. Now for the budget, it was hard trying to find a solid monitor to buy. Months of research, I ended up coming down to a BenQ 32-inch EW327OU. I also got this monitor off of Amazon. It only cost me about $300, which is pretty good. It has a 4K display, so it's really, really clear. That was one of my big things when it came to buying the monitors, is that it had to be 4K. It also has auto brightness, which is a really good feature. You also have tilt. You can tilt it up and down. I do wish it had a height adjustment, but it doesn't. But you know, it is what it is. This monitor does have speakers. I will say it is not the best though. I never use the monitor speakers because it's just not, it's just, you wouldn't want to use them. It also has some functional buttons, and of course it has a lot of settings, so you could do a lot of things in there. This monitor also has HDR, so if you want to watch HDR content or edit HDR content, you can do so. I don't really do none of that, so that feature is not really that important to me. So the keyboard I like to use is the Apple Magic Keyboard. I get a lot of flack for this keyboard because everybody's like, it's such a generic and just basic keyboard, which I kind of gotta agree. But it's made out of aluminum, made out of really light, sturdy metals, really, really solid. I love the way the keys feel. That's just me. I do have a MacBook, so the Apple Magic Keyboard keys feel the same. I also like the fact that it is wireless, just makes things look a little bit cleaner. And the battery life on this keyboard is like 3 months, which is pretty solid. I think every 3 months I usually have to charge it. The only thing that I wish this light had that it doesn't have is backlit keys. Apple, you should totally make a backlit keyboard. And the keyboard, again, I got it on Amazon. It was $130, which is kind of up there for keyboards, but I mean, it works well with my MacBook. Now for my mouse, I use the Apple Magic Mouse. They're pretty controversial. Of course, it being controversial for its charging port at the bottom of the mouse, which to me it's not really that big of a deal, because like I said, the battery life on this mouse is probably about 2 months from my usage at least. When it does come time to charge your mouse, you do have to basically not use it while it's charging. So again, it's made out of metal, so it's really, really sturdy, really nice feeling, really premium feeling. I like this mouse specifically because I use it on my Mac and I use it on my iPad as well. So I can use the touchpad on the top of the mouse to scroll and to swipe left or right. Now that I've had this mouse for a little bit, I can't even imagine like using a regular mouse that doesn't have the touchpad. Like once you get used to that touchpad, that's like a really big feature. Also, the Magic Mouse was about, I think, $90 to $100. I also got that off Amazon. So now for my mouse pad, I actually just bought this. This is the Blade Hawks RGB mouse pad. I had one just like this before. This was only $18 on Amazon. It has different colors, it has different modes. It has a really nice smooth feeling when it comes to my mouse. And yeah, all right, now let's talk about some of my devices. So starting with my main powerhouse of my setup is my Apple MacBook Pro M3 Max. That is like my bread and butter right now. That's my favorite laptop. I used to have the M1 Pro. It was fast, but it wasn't as fast as I needed it to be, so I upgraded to the M3 Max, and it's just been a breeze. The MacBook Pro has a really good display, almost a too good display, because my monitor's colors are just quality just does not compare to the Apple MacBook display. It just does not. So sometimes when I'm color grading or editing in general, I have to move it over to my MacBook display just to see how clear it really is. Super quick, super efficient, super clean, super smooth. It's really good laptop. And for my laptop, I'm not gonna lie, this was a lot of money. This was like $3,500, so definitely nothing budget. All right, so now to my other device. I have my M1 iPad Pro, and I love using this as like a third display with Apple releasing their new universal control. It's really cool that I could just have my mouse and keyboard go from my main monitor to my MacBook Pro to my iPad without having to use Sidecar, since Sidecar is really not that good right now, at least. And a lot of the time I also edit my actual like professional photos on my iPad using Infinity Photo, which is my editing software. And I also used to actually edit all my content on my iPad Pro. And I also have it on this tablet stand. It only cost me about like $10. And I think this iPad is like 2 years old now. So when I bought it, this was about $1,300, definitely up there. So as you may have noticed, I actually don't have any speakers on my desk. I used to have these old speakers that were cool, but I just ended up not really using them all that much. So the only really form of audio that I use is my Beats Studio Pros. I've always had Beats growing up because I just like a more bassier and more punchy sound. They have pretty good noise cancellation, and they have a really good transparency mode, just so you can be aware of your surroundings while you're in your studio. I used to have the old Beats Solo Pro on-ear headphones, and one thing I can say, if you're a person that edits or you're just on your computer with your headphones on like for more than 2 to 3 hours, you definitely want to have over-the-ear headphones so you can pretty much wear them all day if you want to. So I highly recommend that. They overall sound good. They're pretty comfortable. I think they're about $350, but I actually caught them on sale for only about $180. So also referring to audio is actually these soundproof phone blocks. I really do like having this soundproofing. It actually does help. I remember when I first was doing videos in the studio, there used to be a mad echo. If you're in your basement or if you record in your house, I definitely recommend investing in some good soundproofing. So now let's talk about my docking station and my power. The docking station I use is from Anker. It actually cost me about $80. Now I really don't use a docking station that much. The only thing I have plugged into it is just so I can charge my laptop and so I can plug in my SD cards into it. Probably will buy a more powerful, heavier docking station down the road, but for right now, this is what I got. Now when it comes to power, I actually have this 100-watt power brick that charges like a whole bunch of things. Charges up my phone, my iPad, powers my mouse pad, and also powers my MacBook, so it's pretty powerful. My cable management is okay. I'm definitely gonna get better with that. All right, so let's start with the underglow. This is the VocalLink light strip. It can be any color I want it to be, and I really like these light strips because it works well in my Apple Home app. These are only about $20 on Amazon. These were pretty good light strips. Never had any issues with them. They come with their own adhesives as well. For my monitor glow, I actually use the Govee light bars. I really love these light bars, and I honestly really love Govee. They have so much customizability, so many different modes and so many different colors I can choose, and I can also make one color a different color than the other. They have two adhesives that easily go on the side of my monitor, and it also comes with different modes, so you can have it do like different light shows and stuff like that. I think these ran about $60, so it was kind of pricey, but I mean, it looks nice. So now let's talk about my custom neon sign. I can actually customize this sign on Neon Signs Now. Link is in the description. There's so many different ways you can customize it on their website. When it comes to you, it also comes with their remote, and let me tell you, this sign has so many different modes. It's actually crazy. I always get compliments about it when people come and see the studio. So yeah, it's definitely really cool looking. And then for my light stick, I use this Aperture Amaran T2C. I usually just use it when I'm making videos like this or when I just need like an extra light. I don't have a lamp on my desk, so I just like using one of the light sticks that I have in my storage, and it just has a lot of customizability. I can use it off the Citus app. I think this ran me about $180. So another piece of lighting is I actually have these basin lights in my shelves, and all my shelves are just basically keep all my camera gear, all my lenses, all my different cameras, drones, battery chargers. So that's all for my lights. Now for the final piece in my desk setup. So over here to my monitor shelf, I actually have a few little trinkets and souvenirs here. This is actually my first camera that I made any video on, took any photo on. This is like an old Canon camera. I've had this ever since I was like a little little kid, and this is kind of the camera that started my whole journey, and I keep it on my desk just as a reminder of how far God has really brought me in my career so far. I have a Parthenon statue when I went to Athens, Greece. I have a Statue of Liberty when I went to New York. I have a ziggurat for when I saw the pyramids in Mexico, and I also have the Edinburgh Castle when I went to Scotland. Underneath there, I actually have an obsidian dagger that I also got from Mexico, and then I also just keep my notebook where I usually put down any ideas I may have. And now for smells, I've used different brand candles, but the one I got right now is the Wake Me Up candle from Zipporah Scents. I also made a commercial for them, which I actually put right here. This one's like a hazelnut, coffee, and vanilla smell, and it really does like wake you up, and it makes me just happier to be down here for hours and hours. So definitely something to utilize in your setup is have nice smell. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, big thanks to FlexiSpot for sending me this chair and also for sponsoring this video. Make sure to follow my Instagram at PTQIV4. I post a lot of my behind the scenes content and a lot of my just regular videography work on there. Thank you guys so much for the support lately. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and definitely leave a comment. I look at all the comments, I respond to all the comments, and as always, stay blessed.